As you know, human nature, we do have some that are going to stay and ride out the storm, and that's unfortunate because when the storm hits, basically they're going to be on their own until the danger passes, where emergency personnel can get out onto the streets. Our senior housing has been evacuated for the most part. They've been great in getting out of the area, and the message is to the thrill seekers and the onlookers is stay away from the ocean front until the all clear is given by public officials.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for your time again.
Thank you, Adam. Have a great one.
So that's the scene here, the calm before the storm. We expect the rain to really start picking up in the next couple hours. That'll probably clear this boardwalk out, I'm sure. Mike, Dr. Knapp, back to you guys.
Adam, thank you. Very interesting to see what happens there in the coming hours. Want to update you on this. We're now getting the report of 465,000 customers without power in North Carolina and Virginia. So that's the other big concern, was power was going to go out. But the track on this has remained relatively constant.
Yeah, and people might be wondering, well, what about the strength? It's weaker than we thought it would be at landfall in North Carolina, but it's still anticipated to be a hurricane all the way up to final landfall in New England. So these power outages that we're seeing could be a big problem all the way up the East Coast.
All right, let's get on to Mike Seidel. He's in Nags Head, North Carolina. Excuse me, on the Outer Banks.
Tropical storm force winds, and for an extended period. We're talking about more than 15 to 20 hours for many of you, if not more than 24 hours, and that's going to cause power outages. That's the concern there. We're going to continue to bring the latest when it comes to the wind concern, the flood concern. We'll go more to live updates as well as to our continued
So it looks like it's
analysis
category
from Mike Bettis and Dr. Rick
1.
Knapp.
Jen, thank you. Getting reports now, 250,000 people in North Carolina without power. Latest update from emergency managers in Virginia is this now up to 119,000 without power in Virginia, and it just began in Virginia. I mean, you're just on the northern edge of this, but the impacts are going to be multiple, not just power outages.
Right, so let's look at the states upstream that are going to be experiencing some of these same conditions. If you're in Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, I mean, up into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, all of these states are in harm's way for a variety of reasons. So let's spell out the threats, Mike, that we've been talking about. The surge and wave threat at the coast and into some of the bays tonight through into Sunday is a threat of coastal inundation. It's an extreme threat. And if we spell out some details with regard to the surge, you know, here in eastern North Carolina, we could get to 5 to 9 feet. We've already gotten some verification that that's happening with flooding in some of the sound side areas in North Carolina. And we could have storm surge 4 to 8 feet in some places, all the way from Virginia up to Cape Cod. And there are some particularly vulnerable spots, Long Island Sound, lower Chesapeake Bay, Delaware Bay, southern facing areas like Buzzards Bay in Cape Cod. And then the wind threat. Now, we've already seen the power outages, and we expect that to make its way all the way up into New
Powerful
England.
winds spreading north this weekend. Potential for long-lasting power and communication outage.
Central or west central Pennsylvania and then western New York. I mean, close to Buffalo.
Sure,
and we've already
seen down trees and a fatality in this area here in